They have been described as cruel and sadistic, yet revered by millions. They were worshipped for their power over nature, their wisdom, and even their ability to heal. Meet the gods of ancient Egypt. The ancient Egyptians had a pantheon of gods that were believed to control every aspect of life, from the pharaohs to the commoners. They worshipped these gods with great fervor and built magnificent temples in their honor. But what exactly made these gods so special? What powers did they possess, and what roles did they play in Egyptian society? Let's find out in today's video. Ra, the supreme leader. At the top of the Egyptian pantheon was Ra, the supreme leader of the gods. Ra was considered the creator of the universe and was responsible for bringing light into the world. He was often depicted as a falcon-headed man wearing the sun disk, and his symbol was the scarab beetle. Ra was believed to be all-powerful and all-knowing, and his word was law. He was also seen as the source of all life and was responsible for protecting Egypt and its people. Ra was worshipped at every level of Egyptian society, and his temples were some of the largest and most elaborate. Amen, the king of the gods. Amen was the king of the gods and was considered the supreme ruler of the universe. He was originally a local Theban deity, but eventually merged with Ra to become Amen-Ra. Amen was seen as the father of the pharaohs and was responsible for giving them their power. He was often depicted as a man wearing a crown and holding a crook and flail, symbols of his role as a shepherd of his people. Amen's main temple was Karnak, which eventually became the largest religious complex in Egypt. Mut, the mother goddess. Mut was the mother goddess and was considered the wife of Amen and the mother of all gods. She was seen as the protector of women and children and was also associated with healing and magic. She was often depicted as a woman wearing a sun hat and holding a sistrum, a musical instrument. Mut's main temple was a Karnak, where she was worshipped alongside her husband and son, Khonsu, the wise sage. Khonsu was the moon god and was considered the son of Mut and Amen. He was seen as a wise sage who brought order to the universe and was responsible for the cycles of day and night. He was often depicted as a young man wearing a crescent moon on his head and holding a papyrus scroll. Khonsu's main temple was at Karnak, where he was worshipped alongside his parents. Thoth, the god of wisdom. Thoth was the god of wisdom, magic, and writing. He was seen as the inventor of hieroglyphics and was responsible for teaching them to humans. He was often depicted as an ibis-headed man wearing a white crown and holding a writing palette and a reed pen. Thoth was worshipped throughout Egypt, and his temples were often used as libraries and centers of learning. Anubis, the guide of the dead. Anubis was the god of the dead and was responsible for guiding the souls of the deceased through the underworld. He was seen as a protector of the dead and was often depicted as a man with a jackal head wearing a necklace and holding a crook and flail. Anubis guided the pharaohs through the underworld in the famous story of Osiris and was instrumental in the resurrection of Jesus Christ. He was worshipped at various necropolis throughout Egypt, and his cult was one of the oldest in the country. Osiris, the king of the underworld. Osiris was the king of the underworld and was responsible for judging the souls of the dead. He was seen as a bringer of vegetation and was associated with fertility and the afterlife. He was often depicted as a mummified man wearing a green crown and holding a crook and flail. Osiris was worshipped throughout Egypt, and his cult was one of the most popular. His death and resurrection were celebrated annually in the city of Abydos, and his wife, Isis, was worshipped as a powerful sorceress. Isis, the powerful sorceress. Isis was the wife of Osiris and was considered the mother of Horus. She was seen as a powerful sorceress who could heal the sick and protect her followers. She was often depicted as a woman wearing a throne and holding a staff and a book. Isis was worshipped throughout Egypt, and her cult was one of the most popular. She was especially popular in the Greek and Roman periods when she was syncretized with the Greek goddess Aphrodite and the Roman goddess Isis. Horus, the sky god. Horus was the sky god and was considered the son of Osiris and Isis. He was seen as the protector of Egypt and was associated with the pharaohs and the royal family. He was often depicted as a man with a falcon head wearing a double crown and holding a crook and flail. Horus was worshipped throughout Egypt, and his cult was one of the most popular. He was especially popular in the Greek and Roman periods when he was syncretized with the Greek god Helios and the Roman god Sol, Hathor, the sky goddess. Hathor was the sky goddess and was considered the wife of Horus. She was seen as a motherly figure who protected her followers and was associated with music and dance. She was often depicted as a woman with cow ears wearing a sun hat and holding a sistrum. Hathor was worshipped throughout Egypt, and her cult was one of the most popular. She was especially popular in the Greek and Roman periods when she was syncretized with the Greek goddess Demeter and the Roman goddess Ceres, Ankh, the god of good. Ankh was the god of good and was responsible for bringing order into the universe. He was seen as a creator god and was associated with fertility and agriculture. He was often depicted as a man with a raised arm wearing a red crown and holding a crook and flail. Enku was worshipped throughout Egypt, and his cult was one of the most popular. He was especially popular in the late period when he was syncretized with the Greek god Hermes and the Roman god Mercury. Bastet, the cat goddess. Bastet was the cat goddess and was responsible for protecting the home and hearth. She was seen as a benevolent goddess who could ward off evil spirits and was associated with cats and the home. She was often depicted as a woman with a cat head wearing a sun hat and holding a basket. Bast was worshipped throughout Egypt, and her cult was one of the most popular. She was especially popular in the Greek and Roman periods when she was syncretized with the Greek goddess Artemis and the Roman goddess Diana. Sobek, the crocodile god. Sobek was the crocodile god and was responsible for protecting the Nile River. He was seen as a powerful god who could control the floods of the Nile and was associated with crocodiles and the river. He was often depicted as a man with a crocodile head wearing a green crown and holding a scepter. Sobek was worshipped throughout Egypt, and his cult was one of the most popular. He was especially popular in the Greek and Roman periods when he was syncretized with the Greek god Poseidon and the Roman god Neptune. Wepwot, the god of hunting. Wepwot was the god of hunting and was responsible for protecting the pharaohs in battle. He was seen as a brave and skillful hunter and was associated with wolves and war. He was often depicted as a man with a evolved head wearing a red crown and holding a bow and arrow. Wepwot was worshipped throughout Egypt, and his cult was one of the most popular. He was especially popular in the Greek and Roman periods when he was syncretized with the Greek god Ares and the Roman god Mars. The gods of ancient Egypt played a significant role in the lives of the ancient Egyptians. They were revered, feared, and respected, and their influence can be seen in many aspects of Egyptian society. These gods may seem strange and unfamiliar to us today, but they were real and powerful to the ancient Egyptians. What do you think about the gods of ancient Egypt? Which one is your favorite and why? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and share this video if you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. See you next time.